Hello, well this is a job that's going to definitely need to be done about every 8 to 10,000 kilometres of normal riding, or sooner if it's very wet conditions or there's been a flood. I would recommend every 3 to 5 years changing the bearings anyway, and certainly they should be checked at every single service. So one of the issues that we've got, and the way you detect with your pedals when they're beginning to go, is that you may detect a bit of a clunking and a movement. And I don't know whether you can hear that. Let's do it again. There's definitely a clunk there. With loose eccentric. Okay, so here are the tools that we're going to be using. We're going to use a bearing removal tool that's appropriate to the bearing that we've got, which is a Shimano SN300, I think. That's a splined tool. Ours is available from Topeak for about £15, something like that. We've got a bottom bracket tool where we can adjust the bottom bracket. Now, my one is actually the spanner from an angle grinder because it's got nice long pins that are 31.5mm apart. I needed an 8mm Allen key, which I've put inside this bar to give myself a bit of extra leverage because they're quite tight. So just be aware that a small Allen key might be a bit of a struggle. Got a couple of other Allen keys that we've got. We've got a 5mm and a 4mm. The 4mm to loosen off the eccentric bottom bracket, and the 5mm which we've been using in a range of different places just to adjust and get in there. We've got a crank removal tool which pulls the cranks off the bearing. That one is about £7 or £8. They're fairly cheap and fairly universal, and you'll need a fairly big spanner at least to adjust it if you can. I've got this enormous adjustable, but you don't necessarily need anything quite as big as that. And then I've got some quick link pliers because I prefer to do this job with the chain off. So what about the spare parts that we're going to need? Actually, there's not very many of them. The first thing that we're going to use is a set of bottom brackets. Now, I reckon it's worthwhile replacing both at the same time. One of them is completely shot and the other one is a bit worn. These are UN300 from Shimano, and the recommended retail price is £24.99. I managed to get these in a sale at £9.99 each. So it's not a great deal of cost really in relation to how much use you get out of them. They each come with a set of pedal bolts. As a reminder, you will need to ensure that you get the right diameter and the right length of spindle. Ours was 65 by 115. Whilst you are doing the job and you've got it apart, this is the best time to replace any worn chain rings, and I'm going to replace these two chain rings here. That's my 36 tooth and my 26 tooth. Not the big chain ring, it doesn't need it. I'll explain that later, but we're going to change these because you have to take the pedals off to do these, so it makes sense to do it whilst the pedals are off. And whilst we're about it, I'm also going to change one of the chains, although I won't be using this chain. This is just to go in my stack for later because I use waxed chains. The main spare part that we need is a pair of bottom bracket sealed cartridge with a square taper according to the pedal set that we've got. So our next task is to remove the pedals, and these can be quite tricky. There's a central bolt in here that comes with, in our one, it's an 8mm hexagon slot. So I would put the pedals down at about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and then put in the Allen key at about 7 or 8 o'clock, and then using an extra extended lever on the handle. You might not be able to do it with just the ordinary handle. Put a pipe over the edge there, and then it's a matter of squeezing the two together. There we go, and now that has done. Okay, I'm going to unwind now. Then remove the central bolt, and what you'll see is we have a cover and the central bolt. And it actually tells you in the centre of that it should be done up to 38 to 42 Newton meters. which is about 28 to 31 foot-pound. And the same thing applies to the opposite pedal. The key thing to remember here is it's not a reverse thread, so you can literally do both of them as if you were normally undoing a bolt. Push down and it's released, and now we can remove this one. Okay, so now the next thing to do is to remove the pedals. Now, the square in the centre, the crankshaft, is slightly tapered, so when the pedals are put on, they're squeezed over the top of the taper and they're held extremely tight, so you won't be able to pull that off. So what we need is a pedal extractor. I have here my pedal extraction tool that, say they're about £7 or £8, maybe as high as 10. They're quite simple. They have a central threaded unit and an outer sleeve, and the outer sleeve screws into the bottom of the cranks, and then the inner one pushes against the crankshaft to remove the pedal. So first thing we do is to unscrew this so that the central component is completely inside. You can see the central core, as I unscrew this, retreats out. Okay, so before I put this into the bike, first thing I'm going to do is apply just a hint of grease to the unit. Okay, so we're now going to just turn that around, spread some grease in that thread, and that's to prevent it getting stuck in the pedals. We want that to just be part of the removal process rather than a job that we have to fix later. So here we go. The first thing I'm going to do, make sure the inner core is unthreaded. I'm going to pop that in here and I'm going to hopefully thread this into the pedals. And I thread all the way in. You might have to give it a bit of a twist. Sometimes those threads get a bit corroded and it needs to be firmly seated, but no more than hand tight in there, and you should know it's when it's in there properly. Next thing we're going to do is to screw in the center until it engages with the pedal, and now very carefully we're going to hold the pedal still and we're going to use the Allen key to remove the crank. So again, it's 8mm in the centre. Now, you might be able to do it by holding the pedal still and literally winding that in, but what I recommend, using a big spanner. Right, so here we are. I've got a very large adjustable spanner firmly clamped around the outside of the pedal removal tool, and just using a lever, I'm going to pull on this and tighten it in. So I'm pushing it in, and you may find it actually takes a lot of work. In fact, a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. You'll know when it's gone. It is moving. And we are done. Keep turning until eventually the whole crank assembly falls off. And that's one side removed, and you just got to repeat it on the other side. Ready? And okay, so now it's time to remove the bearing caps. Now be careful on these because they are reverse threaded on one side. So the way I learn it is really that what we need to do is to turn it, really, it should be tightening as the thing goes on. So what I'm going to do is to pop it in here. Now on these, I'm always going to keep them the same way around. So on this one, to loosen it, I'm going to move back towards the back of the bike. So I'm holding the pedal in here and I'm going to move it towards the back of the bike, pull in, and that's loosened that one off. Now this one again is going to have to come towards the back of the bike. Now it may be really tight, I don't know. No, this one is moderately loose, and again that works towards the back of the bike, and you literally just unscrew both sets. I'll do that here, and it's fallen apart, and in fact you can tell how bad it is. I don't know if you can see in my hand there's a couple of bearings that have fallen out, and if I put my hand in, that monstrosity there used to be a bearing race. It has utterly died. So it's worth noting that one of the bearing shells has an external flange and one of them is interior that's going to lock in. So we've got the same over here, and it's, in my book, it's important that you put them back in the same way that they came out. And just out of interest, there's the abomination that this broken bearing has become. Here are the cages that have literally worn away, sheared. There's a couple of remaining ball bearings. Here is one of the races that is still in place, and I suppose if you really know what you're doing, you could press one off and press a replacement on, but for a tenner I really don't think it's worth it. Get yourself a new one. So we're now going to reverse fit these bearings, and before you assemble it's worth just checking that they are the same height. Okay, ours are 115 by 68. Right, well, before any reassembly takes place, a couple of things. First of all, put your finger in and gently run around to check that there's no, in this case there were a couple of loose ball bearings in there, so check around. Also check there's no bits of swarf that are hanging around, and then what I would recommend doing is getting a cloth and just clearing out the tired grease. So I'm just going to clear out the old grease with a bit of an old cloth, soft and relatively lint free, and then I'm going to apply some bearing grease to the surfaces of the new crank. So just a bit of grease, not too much, and it's proper bearing grease. Just spread that around. And on the face of the bearing down here. Put this one back in, and remember, this one is reverse threaded. The question is, how much torque do I put it on? We didn't use a torque spanner to take it off, and I have no idea what the torque should be. So I'm going to do it up to 1 moderate grunt, but not too tight. I think that will do, and that certainly runs a lot smoother than it did before. Time to do the other side. So we're now going to put the internal face on. So again, we don't know how tight to tighten this one, so just going to do it to 1 minor grunt because I haven't got a torque spanner for it, but it's now tightened up. When we get to that blue section, it's tightened up. It's a bit like the old nylock. And I think that's it. Yep, that's now solid, nice, new bearing. Okay, that one's done. Let's repeat the same on the front. Pedal reassembly, pretty much the opposite of taking it apart. We're going to put the first one on. It doesn't really matter what orientation these are. I have greased the taper, which may not be a good thing, and just make sure that when this one goes on that it is at 180 degrees. So now we've got to tighten them up and fix them into place. Assembling the pedals, we've put them on now, and we need to put in the central bolts. Now they are supposed to be done up to 47 Newton meters, which is about 35 foot-pounds. My torque wrench only goes up to 24. So what I'm going to do is to use the torque wrench at 24 to know that I've got at least the pulling in, and then I'm going to essentially use the same method I used to take them off, which is the 8mm and an extension handle. Just as a bit of advice, when you're tightening up, it's worth always pulling the torque wrench towards you. So we're just going to do that now. There we go, it's reached 24, come towards me. Try not to have it pushing away like that, because if it does come off, who knows what your hand is going to go flying off into. And there we go. 24 foot-pounds, needs to go up to 35, so we now give it a bit of a grunt with our Allen key and a lever. Again, not too much. There we go. There we go, and I would recommend rechecking and retorquing after a few miles, because it is possible that on the square tapers that they bed in and then they loosen off. Absolutely silent. So there we are, all back together again, running smoothly. Chains refixed, wax chain adjusted. It will probably loosen off a little bit more, always does in the first little bit, but not worried about that. Gears functioning, and it feels really smooth. Thanks very much for watching. Who knows what the next job will be? Probably a separate video on changing the chain rings. Bye for now.